Hello and welcome to the first ever Geekgasm Whoa, voice crack. Hello. Hello and welcome to the first ever Geekgasm podcast. This is going to be a gaming podcast where we focus on gaming news, games of all kinds, anime, and technology. I have been wanting to do a podcast for a while. I was going to do it last week. I got sick, so if I sound nasally or congested, I am sorry. But I'm still fighting that sickness. But I didn't want to wait anymore. I wanted to start talking, start doing some stuff. And I'm planning to make these about 45 minutes to an hour long weekly, and hopefully I can, have some other people enjoy it as well as I do, or as much as I do. God, words. If you can't tell, I'm a little nervous. I would try my best not to be nervous as the podcast progresses, but I am a little nervous. I don't know why, but we're going to go with it. The first thing I wanted to talk about was just something real quick, but the Nintendo Switch game Breath of the Wild is in development for a sequel, which is fantastic. Very excited for that. I'm still finishing up the first Breath of the Wild, but I thought I'd talk about it just because it's such a good game, such a big game. Everybody loves it. The game is probably, in my opinion, the best game on the Switch besides, like, Smash. But it's such a big game that I had to at least say something about it. So, 2020, Breath of the Wild 2, gonna be sweet. Hopefully we get that in earlier part of the year. Sorry, I had to take a drink of water. Next thing I want to talk about was GameSpot.com posting an article about video game violence and attacks being proposed to be put on it in Pennsylvania. This is something I actually have a very, very strong opinion on. So I thought it'd be cool to put this in, but the article starts off with lawmakers from Pennsylvania have put forth a bill that proposes a 10% increase on taxes for violent video games. Bill 109 seeks to impose the so-called sin tax on games at retail that are rated by the ESRB as M for mature or adults only. The money would go forth to funding to a fund called the Digital Protection for School Safety Account that aims to enhance security measures at schools in the wake of the school shootings in Parkland, Florida, and Newtown, Connecticut. State Representative Chris Quinn, a Republican, initially put forth the bill in 2018, but it never made it out of the committee during the 2018 legislation session. The new version is similarly worded to the same article he put out back in 2018. The 10% tax would be in addition to applicable state and local taxes. The sales tax rate in Pennsylvania is 6%, which means that a standard game for $60 would cost around $64. But with this 10% tax increase on violent games, such as Red Dead Redemption, would make the game end up costing about $70 overall. Explaining the bill last year, Quinn said violent video games might be an element in the rise of school shootings in America. One factor that may be contributing to the rise in and industry of school violence is the material kids see and act out in video games. Quinn cited the National Center for Health Research statement that studies demonstrate a link between violent video games and increases in aggression, thoughts, and behaviors. Quinn's comments conveniently leave out the same statement's disclaimer that other factors like mental illness, access to weapons, and adverse environments should be considered as other risk factors. The article goes on to kind of explain off that, but that's basically the premises of it. Now, this is something that I think is really, really, really dumb. I hate when people try to pin violent acts on violent video games. Yes, violent video games are violent in itself. They do show off a lot of bad things, a lot of bad people doing bad things. But it's really stupid to think that just because you play a violent video game doesn't mean, just because you play a violent video game means that you're going to be violent because of it. People that go off and do school shootings, they don't do it out of whim. They don't do it just because. They do it because they have a mental illness. They've had mental illnesses throughout their whole life that lead up to this point. They've wanted to do this or done things like this in the past, just on a smaller scale, and just having some kind of scapegoat to put the blame on is just so stupid to me. And to be fair, I mean, Republican, they fucking want money, so that's cool. But it's such a dumb thing for me to think that people actually still think that. Just because I play Call of Duty and shoot people doesn't mean I want to go out and shoot someone. And I don't know why it's limiting it to just mature and adult-only games. Adult-only games usually are kind of games that are just based on sex anyway, so I don't see why that's part of it. But what's the difference between Star Wars Battlefront 2? I believe that's still T. Back in the day it was T, at least the original. But Star Wars Battlefront 2, a T game, and Grand Theft Auto, an M game. You're still shooting people, you're still killing people, but just because it doesn't have that little bit of blood in it means that it's a completely different thing. And oh my god, it's so much more violent because there's blood. Like, that just doesn't make sense to me. If you're going to do violent video games in general, you should just limit it to all violent video games. I think saying that just because it's M, because of blood and violence, doesn't mean that it's going to initiate more violent actions or violent behavior than a T game that's still violent. So that's just a flaw in their little thoughts and process that they have there. But overall, like, it still is just a video game at the end of the day. Just because I go and kill someone in a game doesn't mean I want to kill someone in real life. I would much rather see somebody be killed in a video game 100 times over than me seeing someone in real life dying. It's a complete different feeling and different experience that you get. You know the game isn't real. You know what you're doing isn't actually killing somebody. You're using pixels to make an action happen on a screen where other pixels move. Like, it's just stupid to me to think that somebody would put so much time and thought into trying to put out a bill for this kind of thing. It's just so dumb to me. I don't know. That's just I people that are like that, they baffle me. It's just weird. But yeah, that's absurd. 10% increase on tax for that. That's so stupid. I already hate paying tax as is, but I mean, you know, there's a reason for it, I guess. The fund for it though is cool. The protecting schools and stuff is cool, and I get that we need money for that in order to make it happen. But I feel like this is the wrong way to do it. I feel like that you should increase tax on video games as a whole if you wanted to do that. Like, maybe do a 2% tax on all video games, which would give you the same outcome, just a better way of going about it, rather than just pissing off a bunch of people that like to play violent games. You'd probably make more money that way anyways, because it doesn't limit it to just a pool of people. But that's just my opinion on it. Whatever. The next thing I wanted to talk about was Telltale's Walking Dead ending this March. The Telltale games are some of my favorite games that I've played. And The Walking Dead one being my favorite out of all of them. I have so many good memories with it. My girlfriend and I, it was one of the first games that I got my girlfriend into. She isn't a gamer. She wasn't a gamer before this. Now I got her into gaming from this game specifically. We played this one together. We play The Sims together now. We play other games by Telltale, which is it's so much fun. Being able to have that time with her, and knowing that Telltale is coming to an end, and that the game that started my girlfriend and I's relationship with gaming coming to an end really makes me sad. So I kind of wanted to just throw that in there for a second. The final episode of The Walking Dead's final season, that's going to be coming out in March on the 26th. So that's one I'm going to be looking forward to, and I'm going to be very sad playing. This is supposed to have the conclusion to Clementine and her story, and I know she's going to die. I know she's going to die. I haven't played the third one yet. I've been waiting to play the third one with my girlfriend, but I kind of wanted to wait until the final episode came out anyways to play, because I want to play both of them back to back. But I know she's going to die. The way that I think that this game should end, and I think it might end like this, is having Clementine be bit just like Lee was bit back when she was a kid, and have AJ have to have the same decision that she had to make when she was little. And oh, that would be so beautiful. It would be so good. Because this whole time, the Walking Dead series has never been about anyone other than Clementine. The first game wasn't about Lee. It wasn't about the people. It wasn't about who they were with. It was about a little girl being found in a zombie apocalypse and trying to survive in it. You weren't playing as her. You weren't doing anything as her. But you, as the adult, shaped her to be the person that she grew up to be. And that is fantastic. I love that message. I love that plot. It was so good. The second game, you play as her. Oh, man. The third game, I hated I hated the third game. Oh, I hated the third game. It was so bad. But besides that, the whole story of it being about a girl growing up in the zombie apocalypse, a little girl growing up in the zombie apocalypse, is fantastic to me. I love it. I'm so sad that it's coming to an end. I'm so sad that she's probably gonna die. Oh, she's totally gonna die. I know she's gonna die. That's the only way that they can end this. She's going to have to get bit, and she's going to have to die. I've already thought about this. I already know what's going to happen. Again, haven't played the third episode, so I don't really have too much knowledge into that. I'm going to play it soon, but I know she's going to die. It's the best ending for this. The zombie apocalypse, that's not going to be fixed. It's not going to change. But, oh man, I'm looking forward to this. Although, I am sad as well because it's going to be the last game that Telltale makes. They're out. They're gone. They're done. They're shut down after this. And, man, it just hurts. They tried to do so many cool things with their games. I love the choice-making aspect of this game. And all the ones that they've played, the what was it, Game of Thrones one? That one was really good. I'm still playing that one right now. Oh god, The Wolf Among Us. Man, that was so good. I loved it. Not getting a sequel anymore. Sad, but still loved the first one. All of their games, all of them. The only one I haven't played is the Batman one because I didn't care about that. Oh, I didn't care at all. But every single one that I played almost all of them. Besides, obviously, Batman. I think there was one other one I didn't play, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But the Borderlands one was fantastic. I really liked that one. Wolf Among Us, second favorite. Walking Dead, obviously the best. It's been going on for 7 years. Definitely the best one. Super excited, super sad. But man, I had to take some more water, sorry. But man, I'm so sad that I have to say goodbye to one of my favorite developers, one of my favorite game genres, and one of my favorite games. It sucks. I mean, behind me, I have a poster of The Walking Dead, and that's not The Walking Dead, I'm sorry, The Last of Us on my wall. And that is my favorite story-based game, but this one is just so close in my opinion. Not because of the writing being amazing or whatever, but I really like choice-making games. So, not having another studio doing that kind of sucks. But that's something to look forward to in March, and also to not look forward to because it's sad. Next thing I wanted to talk about was actually, let me get it on my computer real quick. Whoopsies. The next thing I want to talk about was actually one of my main games that I play. Now, I play a lot of League of Legends, and I feel very passionate about the game. So when something in it bothers me this heavily, it's hard for me not to talk about this to everyone I see walk by that plays the game. So this 2 weeks ago at this point, the new ranked season came out with a bunch of new changes, a bunch of weird changes in my opinion. But I've been having so many tougher games than normal. I mean, last season I finished gold. I was in gold. My highest was gold 1, but I finished in like gold 3 or something like that. from very unlucky games. But I've been playing this game for a while, and I've never had a season be this bad. In my 5 years of playing this game, this season is by far the worst, and it's only been 2 freaking weeks. Like, my God. Okay, the new rank season has added in, like, role-specific ranks. Now, normally, that would be kind of cool. The thought of that is kind of cool. I do like that, because I play mid and jungle mainly, so that's cool. But I didn't realize how terrible the game turned out to be. So I'm going to go through a couple things I've been realizing from this season. And, you know, maybe everyone isn't having this problem. Maybe I'm just the only one. Maybe I'm just getting really unlucky. But this is something I'm so sick of having all of these things happen in my games. First main thing, one team stomps the other with no real challenge. That's happened before, but this past preseason and, I mean, kind of season 8 too, but mainly preseason and season 9. The teams are just so, one side stomps the other one. There's hardly any games where it's actually even, where the games just feel great, they're tough. One team is able to kill the other team, but then the other team come back and does the thing where all that stuff. That's cool. I like that. This season doesn't have it. Like, it just seemed to not have any real competition. It's either, oh, I'm stomped, or, oh, I'm stomping. Like, it's so bad. Mainly because of the new rank system now. But before that, it was just, there's so much damage in the game. Damage on top of damage on top of damage. Every single item gives you damage, gives you survivability, but damage. It's so annoying. And I'm not even going to get into how overpowered some of the items are in this game. Like, the AP items as a whole, way too overloaded. Way too overloaded. Tank items, stupidly cheap for how effective they are. My God. But that's not what I'm talking about. That's a discussion for another day. We're talking about the ranked season right now, so one team stomps the other, no real challenge for games that you don't stop. Another one is I seem to get my off roll or autofilled a lot more than my main roll this season. That is, sorry, again, I'm sick, so coughing is going to be a thing. But I'm sorry, but I have got mid hardly ever. Maybe it's because I'm just a mid laner. So that's a popular role. A lot of people like to play. A lot of people want to be faker. Blah, blah, blah. So maybe this is just me and I get autofilled a lot because of it. But I am hardly ever getting mid. I've gotten mid maybe not even half the time. Then I'm getting either jungle or autofilled. And normally that wouldn't be a problem. I don't care what I play. I can play any role enough. I can play any role to at least, I like to say, a gold level. So it doesn't really matter if I'm autofilled normally. But with the new rank system being how it is, where you don't earn points unless you're in your main role, is just so stupid. If I'm put into jungle on okay, let's say I am a gold 3 player on my mid lane. Okay, cool. That's my main role. I don't care. That's nice. I'm climbing. But on my jungle role, I'm gold 5. Why the hell would I care about my jungle games versus my mid lane games? If I'm going to play a game that isn't going to bump up my main rating, why do I care? It's just a waste of time. There have been so many games where I get jungle and the first thing I do is start complaining. Because the game just doesn't matter at that point. I'm going to spend 20 to 40 minutes in a game to either gain points in a role I don't give a shit about or lose points for not playing my main role. Like, it just doesn't make sense. And then when you get your main role, you're still going in with a 50% chance, not even a 50% chance to win with my rate, but you go in and the points you gain for your role that you got in Champion Select, it's split between that and your other role that you're queuing up for. So let's say I get last season, if I get 21 points, I get 21 points. That's it. Okay, this season, I get 18 points for my main role, and then 3 points for my off role, if I get my main role. Okay, that's cool. But then if I get my main role and then I lose 17 and lose like 2 in my off role. Whereas last season, I would at least, like, if I were to lose 17 or 18 in my main role and in general from last season, I would still have like 5 points more in my overall rating. So this season worked so much against you to try, when you try to climb, it's so bad. The game feels pointless to play if you don't get your main role. And then when you don't get your main role and you lose points in your main role. It's so stupid. Another thing that happened was every single role has its own like placements. And if you're in your placements, you don't lose points when you lose. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. I do like that. Because last season, if you're in your like placements, or if you're not your placements, if you're in your like promos and you lost, you would lose points still and gain points still, which is stupid. I don't know why they would do that. But like, let's say you get to 100 LP and you lose 2 games in a row. You're back down to 60. Well, if you win 1, lose 1, you still go down to like 75. It's just so stupid. Anyways, in this one, if you're in your placements for a role, like let's say you're in mid and you get placed already, you're placed gold 5. And then in your jungle role, you aren't placed yet. You're on your like 5th game out of 8. If you lose that game, you don't lose points for your jungle role, but you still lose points for your main role. Like, why the hell would you make me not lose points in jungle when I'm losing them somewhere else anyways? Like, that's so stupid. Oh my god, I'm gonna get so mad after talking about this. The next thing is, if someone isn't on their main role, they don't seem to care about the game. Yeah, I went over that. For anyone that's filled in my games, they don't care. They pick some kind of troll pick. Or if I'm autofilled, it's hard for me to care about the game anymore because it's a waste of my time. And then, another thing is that switching roles in champion select, usually that's a good thing. Like, let's say you lock in Zed mid. That's cool. But you're going against a Vlad. Your top lane, however, is going against, let's say Riven or something like that. Still not a good matchup, but I mean, I guess it's better. Let's say top lane has a better matchup than you do mid lane. You're like, oh, dude, let's switch. I don't like this matchup. Let me go top. Okay, we'll switch. Whatever. That's fine. Or top lane's a Smurf, and this actually happened to me. Top lane's a Smurf. Clearly a Smurf. I had a Riven 1-trick who had played 30 games and only lost 2. Clearly a 1-trick. Don't know how they were still in low gold or high silver, but whatever. They were clearly a Smurf, and they're like, hey, can I go mid? That's my main role. I'm all like, I'm thinking to myself, okay, if I switch, that works against me. But he's a Smurf, so we'll most likely win. But then if we win, I'll get points for a role I don't care about. Like, if you switch after you get placed in the selection, wherever you're on, okay. So the game looks at where you are on the map for the most of the game, and that's what determines where you get the. Oops, I'm so sorry, I hit my mic. The game looks at where you are on the map for the first 10 minutes of the game, and that's how it determines what points you get, what LP you get for what role. So even if you get placed in mid lane and switch to go top, you still get top points rather than mid lane points, even though you were placed mid. So switching works against you because of that. You can't get points in your main role if you switch to somewhere else. So I had this dilemma where I want the Smurf to go where he wants to go because I want to win. But if I win, I'm getting points for top lane. I don't care about top lane. I don't play top lane. I don't want those points. So I told him, I'm sorry, but I need to climb. I can't go top. We still won the game because he was a Smurf, even though he was getting dicked pretty hard. Anyways, we still won the game, so I got my points. But in the future, if I can't switch with Smurf and we lose. I'm losing points in that position, even though I could have switched, and we most likely would have won. Like, it works against you when you want to switch. It's so bad. Another thing is climbing is now twice as hard and twice as long. So, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a professional streamer. I can't spend 8-10 hours in League. I have a job. I have to work because I need money. I don't have that extra time. I have some time, and sometimes I like to play League. Sometimes I want to play something else. Sometimes I want to do a podcast. Like, I don't have infinite number of times, infinite number of things I can do within the course of like 4 hours. So me queuing up for a game and I don't get my main role means I have to work for points in a different role, which means my main role isn't going up, which means my rank isn't going up. You see where the problem is? I'm earning points in, this is a lot, basically the point for all of this. I'm not earning points in my main role, so I'm not earning points in general for my rank. It's so bad. Oh my god. Also, the changes weren't fleshed out before they put them in. They did not think things through. They just kind of was like, let's put this out there. Let's see if people will like it. It's a great idea, again, but dude, put it in the preseason. My god, don't just make NA be the guinea pig for this. Oh, sorry, that's offensive to animals. Don't make NA be the guinea pig for this stupid system that you want to put in. Like, put it in the preseason. I would have been totally fine if this was preseason. I would have bitched about it then too, but at least it wouldn't have been the main season. They would have seen like, oh, everyone's hating this. Whoopsies, let's not do it. Yeah, they mentioned that they're open to changing this and not keeping this as their main thing, but dude, do not do this in a new season when your ranked games matter. Like, my god. Also, boosting is super easy. Now, this isn't something that you would really find down in, like, silver or gold ratings, but my god, I'm so sorry. Up in diamond or masters or, no, higher ranks, let's say you are a diamond 1 player in mid lane and a diamond 3 player in jungle. And you have a friend that's diamond 2 in ADC and diamond 4 in top lane. So you guys are basically the same skill level. You both are diamond, you both are around the same elo. Now, but you both don't play the other roles. So your MMR and your ranking in those roles are a lot lower. Now, you can invite people to a duo. But for the boosting strat, you would invite your duo partner and queue up as their roles. So ADC and top lane, whereas your friend who mains ADC and top lane, they would queue up as your roles. They would queue up as mid and jungle. You'd go into a game, the game would be like, hey, you guys are low elo, let's put you with platinums. And then all you guys have to do is switch. You'll still get your points for the main role if the ADC goes mid lane because of the way the system works and tracks where you are on the map for the first like 5-10 minutes. So you're still going to get your points in your mid role, but now you're going against someone who's platinum when you're a diamond 1 player. That is so bullshit. That is so stupid and so hard for people to fight when it's such a big gap between skill levels. My god. This whole season is just a whole bunch of no. It's just a whole bunch of no thank you. Yeah, that's basically everything that I wanted to talk about with that. I'm so mad about this new season. I was so frustrated, and like, I wasn't crying, but I was so frustrated. And like, my face is so red from being autofilled and put into my secondary role so often that I actually had to go to the board for League of Legends and post something about this. Surprisingly, it actually got like 10,000 people looking at it so far, which is cool. But I was so mad I had to vent. I just had to vent. And I'm still mad about it. I'm still frustrated about it. It sucks. This whole season sucks. Everything sucks. I hate everything. In lighter news, League also has said that they're gonna try, Riot has also said that they're going to try and add more weaknesses and vulnerability to champions coming out this year. So a lot of the champions and a lot of the reworks that have been coming out, like, Aurelia and, Sylas, those kind of champions, they're all coming out, but they are so stupidly good and have no real weaknesses that there's no counterplay. Aurelia, for instance, Aurelia has 20,000 gap closers. They've nerfed this already, thank fucking God. She had an ability that gave her 50% resistances, just flat resistances to anything other than true damage. And she also had a big stun. Like, dude, I'm glad that they're changing that now, but still, she's still a monster. She was dominating mid lane because of this. She's so aggressive early game against squishy people and mages and assassins. They need to, like, kind of ramp a little bit. But she's so good. She has so much free stuff in her kit. She has dashes. She has a heal. She has a reduction. She has bonus attack speed. She has bonus 100 hit damage. She has a big stun that allows you to reset your Q on it. She had the ability to disarm you so you couldn't auto attack with her ultimate, which also made it to where she could reset her Q. So you could Q the same person 3 times, which is your main ability, which is what you max first, which applies on hit effects, which applies lifesteal. Like, it's so much free stuff. Oh my God. Same with Sylas. Dude, you have a Q that pokes. Okay, the poke also slows. The poke also has an erupting explosion at the end. You also have a dash, but the dash has a shield, which also you get a stun afterwards, because then after you dash, you can stun. You also have an execute ability with your W, but the execute ability also heals you, but it also heals you more when you're low HP. Oh, you can also steal someone's ultimate. Like, dude, what can you not do? The only thing that he can't do, I can't even think of something like that. What? No, he has, like, everything. He literally has everything. What's the counterplay? He can, with Sylas specifically, he can hold your ultimate in lane for like 40 seconds before his ult goes on cooldown for its 40 seconds. Or I think it's longer than that. I think it's like a minute and a half or something like that. But he can literally just take your ultimate and just hold on to it. Why? Why can he do that? Dude, if he's gonna steal my ultimate, make it to where he has to use it in the next 20 seconds at least. Like, dude, 20 seconds is fine. They were mad with Yasuo holding his tornado for 10 seconds. Like, dude, let him steal my ultimate. That's cool. But when I'm Vhagar and I'm, like, farming it up and he's an assassin and he wants to kill me, he steals my ultimate and now he just bursts me with his combo and then executes me with his ultimate, with my ultimate. So it's just, dude, these champions that they're coming out with, they're cool and all. Like, Sylas is cool. Aurelia is cool. But they have zero counterplay. Unlike someone like Darius. Darius, he is super painful. When a good Darius is against you in lane, he is super aggressive, super good, super hard to fight. But you can kite him so damn easily that it makes up for all of that. Makes up for the ability to have resets. But then you look at Pyke, someone who is basically the same thing with his ultimate, where he just looks for resets. Like, he dashes on top of you instantly and has a 90% slow. I think it's a 90% slow. I'm going to say 90% slow. He has a 90% slow or he has a hook. And then he just resets his ult on you and gives gold to people while also giving himself the gold. Like, I'm more okay with Pyke than I am with Sylas and Aurelia. But still, it's like that kind of concept where they don't have the counterplay that Darius has. They don't have the counterplay that some other champion has that they don't have. So I'm glad that Riot is actually like looking at this and trying to correct that issue that they're having lately, which is really good in my opinion. I am so sick of fighting the same champions over and over, same problems with new releases and everything, and I get it. They want money. Riot wants money. It's all about the money. It's a free game, so they need money. Okay, yeah, small indie company, but I don't want to try and give you money just because something is overpowered, and if I don't use it, I'm at a disadvantage. That's not cool. I'm glad they're adding in that to this. Now, moving on from League of Legends, let's talk about Metro Exodus and Epic Games, because oh boy, that's a That's a fun one. So, Epic Games, the creators of the fantastic, I say that loosely, Fortnite, they came out with their Epic Games launcher now being a store like Steam. That's a good thing. I'm okay with that. They have a lot of good things going for them. They're giving developers more of the money that they earn when they sell games on their platform. That's really good. I'm 100% encouraging that. They're selling games a little bit cheaper than Steam. I encourage that. $60 for a game is completely overpriced. I think that a good price for a game is like $45. I'd pay $45 for a game. That's fine. But if you're going to charge me $60 for a game and then charge me another $30 per DLC, but then also charge me for more stuff in the game, blah, 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 Destiny, then you can't charge me $60 for the game. Like, if you're going to add on more charges. But that's the model that a lot of people like EA is doing nowadays, which, cool, you get money. But, I mean, I like money too. Just let me keep my money. But, Epic Games, they've been trying to get exclusives on their launcher so that people will be more enticed to download it and use it. Like, I think Super Meat Boy 2 is going to be an exclusive on Epic Games launcher for the first year. And so is Metro Exodus. Now, I've never played these games, but I've heard that it's a super good game for PC. The graphics are fantastic. It's way better on PC than it is on like console or anything because of the graphics specifically. And it has a really good fan base for it. But Epic Games basically bribed them to have their game sold on Epic's launcher only, which for the first year, which is okay. But this was like 2 weeks before the game comes out. So Steam had already had this thing on sale for pre-order for like months at this point, and now they're just not allowed to sell it anymore because of this. So, long story short, since Epic Games had bribed them, Metro Exodus decided to like pull from Steam, but anyone who had bought from Steam already to purchase that game can still have the game on Steam, which is a good thing. I think that's really nice that they're doing that. They're not just making people have a refund. That's cool. But apparently one of the developers really didn't like how much of a backlash they got for this. So from this Eurogamer website, they posted an article on this, and I'm gonna read that first. So, the fallout from the Metro Exodus Epic Games Store exclusivity deal continues, and it's getting very messy indeed. The latest development saw the publisher of Metro Exodus ask angry fans not to focus their upset on the developer of the game. Deep Silver, which I believe is the creator of the games, Deep Silver issued a statement over the weekend in response to an impassionate comment from one of the developers of the game about the anger from some of the Metro Exodus, from some anger that Metro Exodus will not be sold on Steam despite being available for pre-order. And then it just says that they wrote a statement on that. The statement basically says that they understand the concern with the developers and that the developers didn't have a real say in this. This was more about marketing, so the developers don't have the ability to really act up on this. So, again, that's a different problem that's been happening in games recently where marketers are kind of just like overselling things. They're the ones being promoted in development rather than the actual game developers themselves. They're the ones getting rewarded because they're selling the game. I don't know. I think that's stupid. I feel like that's a really weird way to go about it, but they're the people that bring in the money, I guess. But Deep Silver already posted a statement on that. But it seems that people did not want to play. Did not want to play. Just, oh God, words. I am sorry. It seems like people were really upset about them not being able to play it on Steam. So in a response to that, one of the developers said that people called the Epic Games Store deal from the thing to be hardly adequate, and it seems that people did not want to play the game in general from first and were just waiting for a reason to pour out their bail. So he was basically just saying that people were looking for a reason to not play the game. The people that actually didn't want to play the game were still going to play the game on Steam, but now that it's not being on Steam, they found their reason to not actually get the game. So they weren't real fans of the series. And he goes on to say that's it. It turns out that we, the developers, for years have been hard and painfully working on this game to do something special, but a certain category of players believe that our work is not worth even a couple of minutes to install the launcher. Naturally, it is their life and their right, but then what do they care about the Metro experience? Obviously, it's not interesting to them. I can only say that they were not our players either. They are not interested in our work, which means that, for example, the opinion of such people is not interesting for me either. What is the point for me personally to listen to their opinion? This is a very, very, and sorry I butchered that really bad, but basically it was saying that people that are complaining about the launcher, about having to download the launcher and take like 2 minutes to download it, are just people that didn't want to play the game, that they don't care about the game that they're making, that they don't care about the time that they put into it and everything. And he's basically just saying, why should he listen to their opinion? Like, I get it. You're upset that the marketers, you're probably upset that the marketers made this game kind of just be on its own, on the Epic launcher only because of the money. I'd be frustrated at that too. I think it's stupid to have an exclusive that was on your thing that was supposed to be for everyone to play off Steam, off any launcher they wanted to, now being just on one launcher. It is stupid. Sorry. But being a PC gamer, we already have launchers. We already have Steam, Origin, Epic Game, not Epic Game Launcher, Steam, Origin, whatever, all these other different launchers, and we don't want another one. I don't want another one. All of my games are on Steam. I don't even look at other launchers. So I have like 200 games on Steam. To be fair, a lot of them are pretty ass. But I don't want to have another launcher. I hate having Origins. But I can't play Sims without Origins. And I can't play Anthem when that comes out without Origins. So it's just not... It's something I don't want to have to look at. I don't want Epic Storefront, because I just don't want another launcher. It doesn't mean I don't like your game. It just means it's an inconvenience to me, and it's something I don't want to deal with. So to say that we aren't real fans of your game, that we don't actually care about the work and the passion you've put into it, just because we really don't want another launcher, that's just so dumb to me. And I feel like that's just anger being took out on fans because he can't take it out on people in his company. And that's a real shame. So this reminds me of the same problem that I believe it was Battlefield 1 had, where people were upset at the game for whatever reason, I forget what, but one of the developers flat out said on Twitter, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And oh man, did people not buy that game. Whoo! Did not sell well. Did terrible. You don't tell your customers not to buy things. You don't tell your customers that their opinion doesn't matter. You are the seller, and without the customers, you won't sell anything. You need to have the customers in mind. With that being said, EA, for some reason, still gets away with their bullshittery with all the sales that they still get for some reason, even though they're a complete shit company. But other than them, because they're fucking invincible, you can't do that to your customers. I am not going to buy your game. I'm not going to spend my money on your game if you're going to tell me that my opinion doesn't matter. My opinion is what buys your game. So I'm cool with two different launchers as long as I can pick and choose what games I want to play on them. If, let's say, your launcher had a deal on the game that maybe Steam didn't like, that $10 difference that Metro Exodus was going to have, because I believe it's $60 on Steam and it was like $50 on Epic Games, that's something completely different. That is cool. I would for me personally, I would go to that. I would buy a $50 game way before I'd buy a $60 game. It's just $10, but that adds up. If I buy 3 games that are $50 instead of $60, that's me saving $30. That's like a week of gas. That's like a meal I could take my girlfriend out to. So that little bit of change makes a bunch of difference. If you had different deals like this, rather than saying my opinion means nothing to you, then I would be more wanting to download another launcher, but it would have to keep that motto. And I do like that Epic Games is doing a better deal than Steam for developers as well. I believe Steam takes like 30% of the money that developers make from selling their games on their platform, and then Epic Games was taking, I think, 18%. So that's a huge difference. That's a lot saved. Like, that's an extra $15 per, like, let's say you're selling a game for $100 each. You would never do that, unless it's like a special edition or whatever. But that's like an extra $15 per game. Times that by 100,000, that's over $1 million extra profit that you are now making because of that 15% difference. Like, dude, that is awesome. I like that. That does allow game developers to have a better deal for customers. That gets us to that sweet, sweet $40 that we really should be paying for games. So that's awesome. But dude, you can't throw my opinion away just because I'm upset with something that your company's doing. That's stupid. Again, he's most likely upset at the whole higher end of his company making this decision and Epic Games bribing them at the end, which I think is bullshit as well. Epic Games, cool, you want exclusives, but don't bribe companies that are already planning to have games on other platforms as well. But I know you're upset about that, but my God, you cannot take that out on the customers. You do not want your game to have the same effect as Battlefield 1 happened. So try to say your words a little bit better next time, instead of just doing that stuff. Next thing to talk about is actually the creators of the new game Apex Legends. That's kind of cool. So a game came out this last week, and it is crushing it. I'm actually going to go to twitch.com right now and see if it's still crushing it. But last time I checked, it was.
He's zooming.
Oh God, please don't talk to me. I'm so sorry. But right now, I can't. Here we go. Nope, it's not crushing it anymore. Gosh dang it. Well, anyways, this last week we had Apex Legends come out, and oh no, it's still crushing it. Wow, that is awesome. Holy crap. That's even better than before. So Apex Legends, it's a new Battle Royale game that came out. It's made by the people at, oh God, not Respawn. Was it Respawn? No, Electric Arts. Nope. I'm going to say Electric Arts. Or Respawn. I'm going to say Respawn. Respawn came out with Apex Legends. Sorry if I'm wrong. But they're the creators of like the Titanfall series. They're also in development with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, which is a new game coming out as well. But Apex Legends came out, and it is the Fortnite Slayer we've been looking for. Except it's another Battle Royale. So, Apex Legends, it's a new game came out. It's another Battle Royale crap that I'm so sick of seeing Battle Royales at this point. But it's a new one. It came out, and it is now beating Fortnite in its first release, which is awesome. Right now, it's sitting at 290,000 people watching it versus Fortnite, which is only 139,000 people watching it on Twitch. So that is super cool. I'm sick and tired of seeing Fortnite. I'm tired of seeing anything that involves Fortnite. I really just do not like Fortnite. That game upsets me, pisses me off. I don't want to see anything else about it. I'm super happy that Apex Legends is beating it, and League of Legends at the moment is beating it, so that's cool. But when that came out, I read somewhere that that Respawn was actually canceling Titanfall 3, because of this, and I actually really like the Titanfall series. It just sucks that the second one didn't get as popular as it should have. But I heard that they were going to stop making that game because of this. Apex Legends that just came out. But it was confirmed that they're still in development with it, and it's actually in late development. So it's coming out soon, which is cool. They're also the creators, again, of the Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order game. All of that is coming out in fall of 2019. That is super cool. Super excited. I really like Titanfall. I really, really like Titanfall. When I first played the first one, I was in love with it. Oh my god, I was in love with it. Because at the time, I was really into Call of Duty as well. But this was like a better version of Call of Duty, in my opinion. And you got big mechs that you get to fight people in. So cool. The painful launch that the second one got, because it launched in between Call of Duty and Battlefield. Oh man, very bad timing. Didn't get the recognition that it should have, but the developers already talked about that. They said that they are going to make sure that they don't have that poorly timed release date like last time. So hopefully this one does better than the other one. And also, Star Wars Fallen Order is still in development too, which is really cool. Star Wars has been a very, very weird franchise for the past few movies. I hate all of the new Star Wars. I haven't even watched all the old Star Wars. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really like sci-fi too much. But I've always liked Star Wars games. I've always loved the Star Wars games. Battlefield 2, when it first came out on, PS2, I believe. I played that game religiously. Man, I really liked that game. So when it got a remake, I didn't buy it, but I thought that was cool. Got a remake. But I heard that they kind of like screwed that one over too with all the microtransactions and stuff, and pink Darth Vader. But hopefully Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order does do the series justice, because it is a good series. Again, just not my personal favorite series. I, again, don't like sci-fi, but the games are always cool, except when they're made by bad people and are ruined by EA. Man, I hate EA right now. But super excited that they're still coming out with Titanfall, and that Star Wars will hopefully be made by a good developer and a good game still. That's all of the gaming stuff I wanted to talk about. The only thing anime related I can think of right now is that the second season of One Punch Man, that's coming out. That's going to be super sick. I haven't watched the first one, but I've seen a lot of memes about it. So I need to watch that. I still need to watch it. And one of my friends was going on about that anime. So I gotta watch that. I gotta catch up on a lot of anime. I haven't watched anime in a hot minute. But to finish off the podcast, I wanted to look at some cool tech that's coming. That's a thing in the making. So I saw this on Instagram first, and I thought this was one of the coolest things ever. Like, one of my favorite things is flying. Not specifically in an airplane, even though that's kind of cool too. But like the ability to fly. If I had the ability to fly, I would be flying everywhere. I would probably stop playing games as much. Sorry, I needed some water. I'd probably stop playing games as much and just fly. Because it's so cool. The concept is so cool. And this company, the company's called Gravity, I think. I want to say that's their company. But if you go to gravity.co for the website, it brings up this like flying human Iron Man looking kind of suit thing. And oh man, does this look cool. I'd be in this for so long. I would just fly everywhere. So I don't really have much else to say about it other than it's just really cool, and I just wanted to say it. I just wanted to say a thing about it. So yeah, you can't buy it. The company was founded in 2017. It's grown from its beginnings into a $1 million company organization. But God, I would kill to have this. Oh wait, sorry. Can't say that because they blame video games. I would love to have this suit. I heard it's stupid expensive though. So I don't know. maybe not for me. But if I could have it, ooh, I would be loving it. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about this time. So I don't think I was that nervous throughout the rest of the podcast. Anyways, like I said before, weekly podcast, hopefully. So make sure to, tune in for the next one if you enjoyed this one, if you made it this far, that is. Hopefully coming out every Thursday. And yeah, I was really awkward this whole time. But I'll go with that. Awkward's cool. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope to see you again. Goodbye.